This video will cover ClientTrack's user interface. Once logged into ClientTrack, you will come to a home page. I'll start off in the top right corner. Notice that this is a bell where you can receive notifications. To the right of the bell is your name. For training purposes, my name is Frida-Training. If I were to click on my name, I'm able to see my workspace, the organization I'm assigned to, location if applicable, theme. I can update my photo if I choose to. I love to see your photos in ClientTrack. My security settings as well. This is also where I can log out, and if any of the settings are changed, be sure to click apply. Let's talk about Workspace. The workspace is determined by MDHA admins. If you are a street outreach program, then your user account will be assigned a street outreach work group. If your agency is a emergency shelter and you will check clients into beds and out of beds, then you as a user will be assigned a emergency shelter workspace. All other users will be assigned HMIS programs. Keep in mind these workspaces could change going forward. Our community is in the process of implementing our coordinated entry system into HMIS, so in the very near future, some users will have a coordinated entry work group. As of right now, the majority of users only have one work group assigned. This may change in the future. If you'll notice, my theme is a dark theme. You can tell that because the user interface is actually a dark color instead of a lighter color. If you do not prefer this particular theme, all you have to do is click in the theme drop-down box, select default, and be sure to click apply. When you click apply, you will notice that my theme or the background of ClientTrack is now a lighter color. Again, I'm clicking on my name so I can bring up my user settings. If you wanted to update your photo on your ClientTrack account, you can simply do so by finding an image that is on your computer. And I have a few pictures here that I will select. There's my photo. Notice there is a button for me to take a picture if my device that I'm using has a camera. I've selected my photo, and all I have to do is click Save, and the picture has been applied to my user account. Right under the photo, this is security settings, and when I click on security settings, I have to confirm my password and click Submit. That is the password to my ClientTrack account. If at any time I wanted to change my password, I can do so here, and I can also come here to update my security settings as we discussed in a previous video. Simply close the box in the top right corner. There's a red X that's there. And I don't need to make any other changes here. So I'm going to close this box out in the top right corner. I do want to point out to you that there is a help button that you may find helpful here right in your ClientTrack user account. I'm going to close that box. And then there's also a sign out button. It's very important that you sign out of ClientTrack whenever you're not using the system. About 15 minutes of inactivity, you will start to get a countdown to sign you out, and your work will not be saved. So be sure that you are signing out of your ClientTrack account when you are not using the system. Now, bring your attention to the Home button, which is located right next to the ClientTrack icon. Notice if I hover over the Home button, there's a message that says click to switch active workspace. And if I click on the Home button, this is what we call a carousel. Within your carousel, you will see each workspace that you have as a ClientTrack user. And we will review each one of these workspaces. The Home workspace will allow you to see clients that are enrolled in your program, take a look at your particular caseload. Over here is your client workspace. Anytime that you need to do any type of assessment, entry assessment, update, annual, exit, record services or case notes for your client, that will be done from the client workspace. If I arrow over and click on Next, there is a report workspace. Every user will have access to some form of reports. If you are a user and you will submit grant level reports, maybe that is a APR, which is an annual performance report. Maybe you will do an upload to the SSVF repository on a monthly basis or submit a CAPR. This is where you would come to do those reports. Keep in mind, CAPR reports, APRs, SSVF reports, and RHY reports do require additional access. If you do not have the access that is needed, be sure to place a service request. I'm going to arrow over and I would like to review your home workspace. In the top left corner, there is a menu button. By clicking on the menu button, this will expand what I refer to as your favorites menu. Notice that there is a pin to the right of home. If I hover over the pin, I receive a message which states always show menu. All I have to do is click on that pin so that that pin is up and down or vertical. And when I click away from my home workspace, this favorites menu will not collapse. From my home dashboard, notice that there is some client track news, which we are currently not using. We will start to use that in the future. If there were any clients enrolled in my programs, those clients would appear here in each program that I have access to. Keep in mind, each user at each organization will be able to see all clients that are enrolled in any program at that agency. If I scroll down under My Case Assignments, I have not created any new enrollments as of yet, but this is where you will be able to see any enrollments that you've created. We'll come back here later. I am intentionally not reviewing some of the options over in my favorites menu. Keep in mind, there is lots of functionality in Client Track. Please only use the buttons and functionality for which you have been trained on. Do not attempt to do any actions for which you have not been trained on because this could cause unintended consequences. Just a few options on your favorites menu for which you may find helpful. Active cases. Recent will take you to any cases that you've reviewed recently. I don't have any that's here because this is a new account, training account that I've set up. Here under current enrollments, this is where you can see clients that are currently enrolled in your program. Quick services for multiple clients. It will allow a user to record one service for each client that is enrolled in a particular program. This is a very nice feature which will keep you from having to go to each individual's client's record to record a service for that client. Again, you can change your password, and this is what we call paused operations. You do want to make sure that you do not have any paused operations. Users will not be able to submit any issues within Client Track. We ask that you continue to use our SpiceWorks help desk to do so, and that can be found at mdhadallas.org. I do want to navigate away from my home workspace by clicking on the two arrows that are going in opposite directions. That is my home button. That will bring me back to my carousel. And I want to click on the client workspace. Notice for the very first time that you will not have any clients that appear when you click in your client workspace. So what I will have to do is click on Find Client, find someone that is enrolled in my program, and simply click on that client's name. This will bring you to your client dashboard. We will review the client dashboard in depth in a different training video. I do want to point out that this client dashboard has a lot of information here. On your client dashboard is where you will do all assessments, entry, update, annual, exit, and record any services or case notes as it relates to your client. That is not done from your home workspace. All assessment services and case notes will be done from your client workspace. Bringing your attention back to your home button, and now I want to navigate over to our report workspace. And here in the report workspace, again, each user will have access to some form of reports. HMIS exports, this is where any user needing to submit a CAPER, a SSVF export, a runaway homeless youth report, or an APR, those will be done from your HMIS exports tab, which is located under your reporting workspace. Other users who do not need to submit such reports will have access to other reports such as HUD data quality reports. Also, enrollment reports. This is a great report to see what clients are enrolled in your program. If you scroll down, there are different service reports that you will be able to run for your client as well. Client reports, this is a great report for you to be able to run reports. I do want to bring your attention to the duplicated client report. This is just a high-level overview of the client track interface. We will go into more detail for each of these options in the videos to follow. Thank you.